This is a map showing the Solomon Valley Highway 24 heritage, and it gives a list of the different towns here, and this is where we're at. Right south of here in this area is where a massacre occurred, and also where the tribes killed a family that was settling. And further south over here is where Anna Brewster Morgan at 19, where she was taken captive, and Sarah White up here was living up here, and she was taken captive when she was 17. Both of those girls, they're being captured by the tribes, the Sioux and the Cheyenne. That would lead to the Battle of Washita, the 7th Cavalry killing Chief Black Kettle, and later retrieving the girls near present-day still Sweetwater, Texas. And so here is some interesting pictures. You can see a picture of an old sod house, cattle drives that came through this area. Here's a picture of baptisms in the Solomon River. People lined up to get baptized in the river. There's a picture of a one-room schoolhouse, and then Solomon River as it looks today. But on this other side is the history of Beloit that was established in 1866. It was incorporated in 1872, and it was established near. It was originally homesteaded in 1866 by Aaron Bell. And the town began to grow near a spring. The spring gushed forth and was a stopping place for Indian soldiers, buffalo hunters, and settlers on their way westward or looking for homesteads in the area. And at one time, this was the area where all the buffalo roamed. Millions, thousands of buffalo at one point in time in history. There's a picture of the old one-room schoolhouse. But here's the story of the killing of the settlers. A band of about 40 Arapaho and Cheyenne attacked the Bell and Bogardus families on August 12, 1868. And this uprising of the Indians was a result of a general out of Fort Larned that burned the Cheyenne camp, and I forget his name right at the moment, but at the Bogardus cabin, David Bogardus and Braxton Bell, 23, were killed. Bratton's wife, Elizabeth, who was 21, was mortally wounded. Their infant daughter, Ella Bell, about 1 year old, was seriously wounded. Aaron's daughters, Esther, Jan, 8, and Margaret, 6, were kidnapped and later released. The site of the Bell-Bogardus massacre is located 3 miles southeast of Beloit on U.S. Highway 24. And so that was the tribes were at war because of what was happening to them. And the atrocities that happened to these settler families and these young children mirrored the atrocities that happened to the native families and children. Prior to this event, you had the Sand Creek massacre that occurred over around the Colorado-Kansas border area, and where the military came in and massacred, killed the women and children, and mutilated the bodies of the women and children. It was a horrific event. And there were several other atrocities that occurred to the native families. And so it set several of these warriors and these chiefs on a war path to revenge the killings that was happening to them. And so it was a time of war that was taking place. And so that's the reason why you had this uprising that was occurring in 1868.